We watched Aap Jaisa Koi and we have thoughts. Welcome to Dirty Brown. I'm your host, Kriti J, and this is the podcast where we bring out the jhardu and stir things up. Today I'm trying out something with a movie review and curious to hear what you think about it. Let's dive into it. So, Shruti, what's your one word description of the movie?
Nice try.
Yeah, and for me, it's slow, like legit slow to the point that can be like fast forward some of the things. Is it giving feminism vibes? So overall, I think yes. It is a juicy plot. We have a 42-year-old virgin who the character is Shri Nenu or Shri, played by Armha and who comes from this very conservative family with patriarchal values like women are talking politics and shouldn't be drinking. And he's arranged to marry this 32-year-old independent woman named Madhu Bose, played by Fatima Sheikh, who comes from this very progressive family. And so on paper, this is a perfect plot, and that it has clash of value systems, family drama, gender roles, all of it. But the film barely scratches the surface.
Couldn't agree more. And I'd say the same about their character development. Like, we don't actually get a whole backstory. They kind of just compile that into that one scene where Shri is a young boy. He has like a bad experience asking somebody out, and then it's a curse. And same thing on Madhu Bose's side. They are recording her background under the guise of some students making a history. And it's almost like fed to you in a way that the backstory doesn't matter. It could be just like an everyday story or something you've already heard familiar with. The producers and the director, I think they kind of assume that the backstory is not just irrelevant, but also something we're already familiar with as an audience, where the starting point is today. This is what these characters are like today, and we're starting their story today. And there's differences. We don't know anything about Madhu Bose's heartbreak, her history. We just know that they are different. Sri Renu is a Sanskrit teacher who's supposed to be the Sida Sada Indian boy with very like Desi values, and Madhu is a French teacher who plays the piano. And she's supposed to be modern, right? You're supposed to just buy these character aspects based on how they dress, how they walk, how they talk. Talk about stereotypes, right?
I know. And I actually don't even think that Shri is that Siddha Sadha. He's shown as someone, who's very respectful and whatnot, but when it comes to disrespect, when it comes to disrespect towards the women in his own household, or just gendered expectations with women and men, he doesn't say anything. So I actually think this is more problematic if Madhu was to marry somebody like him, because there is no allyship, no resistance, just silence. And that's not harmless, that's complicit.
So, is there a feminist arc in there? And if there is one, I think it'd be Kusum Bobby. The way they've shown her character development through her instances and how she reacts to the family and how she comes about the change that she wants to do her own business and eventually, spoiler alert, falls in love with somebody else.
Yes, absolutely. I think Kusum Bhabhi is my hero in the movie, and even the predictable plot that we have with Madhu and Shri, that couldn't have happened without the character development that we see with her arc.
It was really nice to see her slowly reclaiming her agency, putting her needs first. And she does play the main part where Shri like references her image in his head when he tries to think about things from Madhu's perspective. So she definitely is the catalyst, not only for Shri's story to move forward, but also for the movie as a whole.
The thing that was interesting to me is that Shri adored her, like he considered her to be this mother figure for him. And yet he never spoke up against his brother when like he was disrespecting Kusum Bhabhi in any way.
And I think that I don't know what the reasons were for the director to do that, but I think one of the biggest disadvantages we had when that happened is, yeah, not only do we not see any character development and growth, but also it doesn't let us see what happens in Sri Renu's mind, like what are his inner dialogue, inner thoughts about this whole process. And therefore, when he accepts and apologizes and makes a change towards accepting Madhubose as equal. What we don't know is how far is his leap, right? Like, is his leap just like, oh, that's like he's always been an ally, a very like important feminist, and there's just one fuck up that he had, or has he just done this for a while, not recognizing it? So there's a little bit of gray area there, but I think that they tried the directors in the show. It kind of comes to full circle in the end. I think with his own monologue about how he was not understanding as much. But I think like, again, a lot of shortcuts. That's why I'm saying like I think nice try. Great great characters, but we needed more depth.
Yes, absolutely. But Kusum Bhabhi turned out to be our favorite character, but there was a lot lacking with this movie. And agreed with you. It was a nice try. I think, yeah, props for that. What plot choices we didn't like? Shri being a virgin. Don't know what that was about.
Madhu being an educated liberal Bengali woman. Like we've seen that trope before. Can we get something new?
Kusum Bhabi having an affair. Like, where did that come from? Why was that not just about her going and starting her business? Like, I think that kind of diluted her character a little bit.
And why did Madhu only have two choices for a partner? This awkward teacher, the main, like the protagonist, or this douchebag doctor, right? Like, where are all the other men?
And Kusum Bhabi reaching her breaking point before, like, Shri had empathy with her, and finally, like, he has the arc of unlearning patriarchy. Our favorite visual elements.
Cinematography, beautiful landscape. They have shown Kolkata beautifully.
For me, it has to be Fatima's outfits, like the saris, the jewelry. I really love them. Final thoughts. So, I think the movie overall, I've said this before, it's very slow. You kind of have to like power through it a little bit. It tries to cover a lot of the patriarchal problems in our society, but I think it still gets the message across.
Cute rom com, nice try, good acting, and solid characters. We needed more.
So, what do we think? Do we recommend watching the movie?
Yes.
So that was the Dirty Brown take on Aap Jaisa Koi. We definitely had a lot of fun watching the movie and creating this review for you. If you would like us to do more of these, definitely drop a comment and absolutely let me know whether you agree with our take or not. Until next time, goodbye.